Hey guys, welcome to Hero Labs stream, episode 40. I'm sitting here on a beautiful Friday morning. RT's not going to be here with us today, but we will let everybody jump in here and then get things going. Welcome to Hero Labs stream, episode 40. Not a lot of action going on right now. Major's kind of sitting in this consolidation pattern just above key support levels. Total market cap, it is over that bearish throwback level. It's still pinned between this weekly resistance. We're going to be keeping a close eye on this Bitcoin dominance. It's getting very close to breaking up. If you can move up from here, it's not going to be a good time for alts, whether Bitcoin goes up or down. In our opinion, I think we'd be looking for, it's a pretty significant gain when you're talking in the billions, right? 2.5%. US dollar, the baby, the king, still below that bearish resistance here, 12.15, but it's moved back up quite nicely, sitting right above that former support and resistance that it broke down from previously. I think if we can catch a bid going in here, next 2 weeks into the election, we are going to be off to the races. And any close above this 12.2 mark could spell the end for SPX bulls. And odds are it would have a spillover effect to Bitcoin, to the downside. But as it stands, S&P, took a little bit of a pullback. We were saying this is something that could happen as long as it held, above that 3250 level, everything was going to be all right. Quickly refresh this. I think if we can see the US dollar hold above here, S&P below this 3,500 level, kind of where it is now. This is the throwback, right? Right off this 3520. If we can flip this back to support around here, something like this, I think it'll run the highs. It's Friday, right? You only have a couple hours. It's highly unlikely that we see a stimulus package pass before the election. But if it were bull, you'd be looking for something like that, kind of supporting off this 3520 level. Get a sweep of these highs here. This is going to be your key little. Again, we've only been up here once. It's resistance, but you don't know how strong it is, right? We only spent less than 12 hours up here, and if it does break down, it's going to look something like this, and back to the lows. 3330, this 3400 level is going to be the key one to watch. I think we're going to see massive volatility going into the election. Let's take a quick look at the VIX actually. So you got two indexes. We'll take a look at the S&P since that's what we're looking at. Yeah, so vol sellers in full effect right now. We can look back at the prior election though. You get where are these spikes? 2016. Okay, so I guess these spikes around here. Let's see what type of run up that had. This stuff, it resolves pretty quick. But these are days you're going to want to be at your trade station for sure. 60% spike in volatility. What would that look like here if we mirrored it? I think we would see even more volatility than what we saw. I think the market conditions are a little bit more wild. A lot of money on the sidelines. The end of the current economic system could be unfolding right before our eyes right now. There's some interesting news coming out, obviously. Earlier this morning, OKX freezes withdrawals for everybody. Apparently one of their multi-sig holders is cooperating with police in the investigation for money laundering. I think this is pretty widely known across the majority of these exchanges. BitMEX also got hit with another lawsuit today. Basically, racketeering, money laundering, market manipulation, the same old, right? But the resiliency that the majors are showing, it's unbelievable, right? I think this is a sign of the maturity in these markets. If anything, it shows that these hacks are a good thing. These actions by the authorities are a good thing. It's cleaning up the market. When you have a market that's trending towards institutionalization, those participants, they like regulations, they like safety, they like insurance, they like solid custody solutions. They don't want to see any of that, quote unquote market manipulation, money laundering, all that shit in the assets that they're trading, the exchanges that they're using. It's too much risk. So I think it's a good thing for the space long term, and I think the charts, are showcasing that right now. If we would have had some news like this, I think at the past 2 times OKX has had government issues, interventions, there's been pretty sharp drop-offs in the market. So the fact that we're holding up as well as we are now is a sign of the times. And from a TA perspective, it's pretty clear, right? I think I'll take it back to this chart over here. So I guess we can, it is basically sitting at that throwback resistance level. You got to give it a few percentages in both direction, right? But as long as we're holding above this like 11,000, 10.8 level, let's draw it off here. Again, we love like off throwbacks, right? Order entry techniques. As long as we're holding above here, in fact, I'm going to set an alarm. This is why you get TradingView Pro. Oh, okay. An air setting, there we go. Anyways, as long as we're sitting above here, the market looks, it's bullish, just consolidating in a order block. There's no signals either one way or another. This isn't an area you want to be taking along or anything. If it does dip down, back down to 10.8 or something, we see bidders come in. I think that'd be a pretty solid level to hold, and I would take a position off that, depending on the volume coming in, obviously. So again, what are you going to be looking for? Something like this, right? And this is kind of like my idea going into the weekend and stuff. If we do see a little throwback, if it supports like that or something, I'd be pretty confident in buying that. Setting a stop here or something. If we were to break below this 10.4 level, I'd be pretty confident we test this daily support. So that'd be what, the third test of it? Yeah, I'd be fine not holding a position, hoping that holds on a third attempt. But overall, I think the market's showing a lot of resiliency right now. Obviously, there's a lot of inflow from pretty large capital sources. Square's announced 1% of their holdings in the Bitcoin. Who's next? It's only a matter of time, not if, right? And that's the big shift that we've seen now in that narrative, right? When, not if, and how much. Grayscale, I think they're up to buying, their inflows of $1 billion last quarter. It's huge. So I think they're accumulating like 77% are purchasing directly from the market, 77% of the daily mine volume. So, it doesn't take much to soak up all the supply in Bitcoin. And once you have all the supply being soaked up, that assumes it's all going to the exchanges to be sold, which it's not, right? So it's going to be a huge catalyst, just the vacuuming up supply. It's a deflationary asset. More and more coins are going to be getting blacklisted. Yeah, it's pretty bullish, IMO. But anything can happen in the short term. We've already shown that. Plenty of black swan events. I think the cleanup that we're seeing in the space right now is only just beginning. And it's probably going to be look at Huobi. Like they're definitely been working with the Chinese government. There's been a lot of hacked coins have ended up on Huobi and OKX. So just can't be surprised with these actions, right? I think we're going to be taking a look at a lot of I'm sure FTX is going to get taken a look at. I'm sure Bybit's going to get taken a look at. It's just the Christmas cleanup is what I'm referring to it as. Hey Chris, how's it going? The Winkle Whales. We can joke at them, but at the end of the day, their approach of regulations first, it's paying dividends right now. I remember some comments from Kraken CEO. What was their strategy for the next 5 years for growth? And his response was survive. Play it by the books. Long term is best term, and now they have a banking license. speaks for itself. All these other exchanges, indictments, CEOs stepping down, and they're getting fucking banking licenses. It's pretty clear what approach is going to be the winning long-term approach. So, and I think it kind of goes against, like, you know, one of the whole ethoses, early ones, at least in cryptocurrency, was tear down the institutions, we'll replace them all. And in reality, everything's just getting merged together. But I think this is a pretty interesting chart here on ETH, right? You know, this is a key, what's going on here? All right, this is the key level to be holding right now. So you may as well just set an alarm right below this order block really here. This 360, you know, even before we were in this range, this is something, you know, this entire, you know, little period, trading period here back in August to September, what was the key level? 360, 350, right? And that's exactly what's flipping here. So it's pretty interesting to see. This is why we like pulling over old ranges with a lot of, you know, price history and validation of that range via these wicks. So it's, you know, bulls are definitely liking what they're seeing. When would I get bullish on this again? Well, I'm definitely never shorting support areas, so that's out of the question. I think if we could close back about, you know, obviously the key level to break here is going to be that 395. All the coins you recommended went down. I don't think we were recommending any coins. I think we've been pretty bearish for like the past month and a half, 2 months almost. Especially myself with my macro USD theory. But happy to take a look at any coin you want charted for sure. But I don't think the bottoms are in. I don't think we've seen capitulation, as crazy as that is. Like, this is a key level here right now on the Uniswap perp that we had mapped out. I know we were pretty confident we were, you know, this was going to get faded. Sure enough, here we are. This is the bullish throwback level here at 15.8. If it's going to bounce, it's going to be here, right? Where is it going to bounce to? Probably back up to this throwback level around like 17,000, right? If it's bearish, you're going to be expecting heavy sell volume to be coming in at that point, right? So where are we getting those levels from? And just right off here, right? This level. So bouncing up to here, if you see, you know, very low volume, you know, so that would be your volume trend, decreasing, coming into here, and then a spike up and sell volume, that's confirmation enough for me. I'd be pretty confident we'd be headed lower, at very least sweeping these lows here at 14.8, 14.4. So that's kind of the setup I'm watching right now. This isn't the spot you want to be shorting. If you're short, this is kind of the area you'd want to be covering, or, you know, again, waiting to see what the price reaction back at 17,000 looks like. Recommended link and algo. I don't think so. In fact, if you look at our chart history, I was pretty sure it was like charting head and shoulders algo fractals for a while. Let's take a look at it though. Look at that, it looks like a fucking M forming right now. Little bear flag. Yeah, so what we were watching, again, was just kind of like a repeat of this old fractal, right? Just the exact same chart pattern. Head and shoulders, right? Exact same thing. Sure enough, you know, we came back that our target was down here, this weekly level. We hit it. I'm not sure what you're referring to. But as long as we hold this level kind of around here, you know, what is that, 23 cents-ish? Market structure is still okay. I'd say if there was a violation here, so say, you know, price from here tips down, a little pity bounce, and then the true nuke, it's probably going to come back down to these levels. Like, there's just a lot of price history here, right? Like, you could just draw this all the way back, like November. It's like a 6-month support level, right? So you're definitely going to get a price reaction there. But yeah, this is what I'd be looking for. If it were to fail here, a little bounce, if this were to flip to resistance, right, I'd be pretty confident this little gap here was going to get filled. But yeah, this thing is just a giant head and shoulders, so that's kind of what we've been watching here. Generally, these M's don't resolve well. Of course, it could always, like, you know, MW, but I think a lot of it, what happens here at this point, is going to come down to what we see in the majors. Quickly moving back over to these perp products. I was talking with RT earlier. Obviously, important to note, the DeFi perp on Binance is different index versus FTX. However, I like FTX. I primarily trade on FTX. I chart FTX. So what we're looking for now, again, there's no reason to be bullish on this stuff. Anything below this range resistance, this is just range consolidation. Lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low, lower high, lower high, lower high. That's, there's no reason to be bearish. What you can do at this point is just wait for a retest of these daily support levels. I think they'll get filled. Again, I don't think we've seen the capitulation yet. Like even today, we've seen some coins making new all-time lows. Look at this MTA. Like how long have we been shitting on this chart for, right? So this is another classic. It's literally a repeat of what we saw back up here, right? As soon as this key support level broke down, sudden, high velocity, high momentum, no prisoners taken, down move. Exact same thing here. You get another 30, like I think it was even worse last time. Let's take a quick look. Okay, pretty fucking close, right? That's why I like measured moves. Like if you don't know, if there's no price history, whether it be positive or negative price discovery, measured moves from former key support or resistance breaks are a great bet. Just to give you a rough idea. Sure enough, it's exactly what happens here. I don't know what the inflation mechanisms are on this, and I'm pretty sure that the pre-sale prices were much lower than this. So there's room for this to go down. That's what the point is. The dollar cost average for a lot of people and a lot of big investors is significantly lower, right? So essentially all this is just redistribution, right? So if this market is going to be bullish, it's going to come back up and retest this level here. Eventually it's going to find a bottom, right? You can't call the bottom off one single red bar daily candle with the way it looks. Like it's impossible. But if whenever it does bottom, so say we find a bottom here or something just for our talk, you're going to be looking for that higher low, right? It's going to come back up to this $2 level. If we see the price stall out here, like we talked before, declining volume on the rises, so it's counter trend rise, right? So if you see the confluence of declining volume, that's your signal that odds are this thing's about to get faded and faded hard. So you'd be looking for that initial reaction. If it probably catch a bid, and then makes that lower high off, there's probably going to be a resistance level there, right? That's going to be your signal. And this would probably head it back down quite aggressively. So this again, not a coin I'm in a rush to buy at all. I know they just launched staking a little while back. It did basically nothing. So yeah, I'm not touching this one with a 50-foot pole, let alone a 10-foot pole. But even take this down to the hourly. This just doesn't look great. Same thing with comp, right? Where's my comp chart? This one, we've been tracking this one really well as well. Just these constant bearish throwbacks, just getting retested, right? Another great example, price breaks that key support level, and that was really bad. Breaks the key support level, and it nukes, and up to 20% in this case. Sure enough, nuked these lows here, swept them a little bit today. This $100 level, while there's no price history to it, it's a psychological thing. It's a psychological level. So you get a little bit of a price reaction off of it. I'm not in a rush to buy this thing at all. But I do like coins that are low in number. So what do I mean is low in price. So it only takes $10 movement to go 10%, right? So that's why I like trading the unis. I've been trading a lot of the Filecoin stuff right now. Anything with high volatility, and that's why we're choosing these ones. Quickly take a look at Ren. We've been putting charts out saying that daily resistance, don't buy here. Sure enough, this is getting respected, and I think a lot of people, when you have look at this distance that we had from these throwbacks, and that's what I'm saying. Never underestimate the ability to get filled. How many people thought this thing would rally 65% to fill this inefficiency? Probably not many, right? But sure enough, the market amazes. And now, if you're short on this is a pretty clear trade at this point. Your invalidation point is going to be these highs. I would say if it's clearing this daily resistance block and turning that into support, that would definitely be a super bull signal on the momentum. And if you were short, even from the top level, I'd probably even up here, I would be getting out. I think that thing would be about to rip. But what we're going to be looking for right now, coming off this level right here, essentially, if price can dip back down, like this 0.25 level, I'd say if that kind of has to hold, right? This 0.25 right here. If that goes, this entire market structure is invalidated for the bulls. In fact, it'll confirm a nasty bearish market structure, right? You'll have had this initial run up, the retest. This is just the great support level that we had mapped out. I think we were off by like 2% or something. It's retested the bearish throwback level, right? Huge daily consolidation block, flipped resistance. You got the lower high, everything, like look at that. It's literally the classic topping pattern. So keeping an eye out for that. And there's so many levels that have to break for that to happen, but that's what it would look like from a high time frame perspective. So moving forward on Ren, super bullish on it long term. Like again, we can just look at that's the great thing about on-chain data, right? Like the demand for this, again, just continuing to rise stream after stream here. So this is still a buy the dip one, right? So we're going to be looking for that 25 cents. And if it does break, I think the real God tier buy on this stuff, if the alts are really shitting the bed, and there's so many ways that alts can shit the bed here. Like Bitcoin could rocket, it's a liquidity sink, everybody rushes to Bitcoin to capture that train or that rocket, and the liquidity just cycles out of alts, right? And it happens very quickly now with stable coins and stuff. There's more onboarding and offboarding channels for people's liquidity. So that in that case, we would be expecting price to come back down to this 10, 12 cents level. But that's why we use this on-chain data, we use social data to help us give an edge in determining which projects are worth buying the dip on. If you have a project with no network activity, that's a dead network, it's a dead project. Why buy it? There's no buy the dip on that. There's short the bounces. So that's how you can leverage your data to give you more informed perspective on the trend, the fundamental trend, the network value trend, which at the end of the day, network value is what drives these prices on the high time frames, right? So the other one we've been watching a lot, dots, Polkadot. We do love it. It's great. It's fantastic. However, I've been short on this since this range break up here. This is kind of the support level, the first support level we were looking for. This could, it could potentially form a really nice bottoming pattern, right? We got the stoke down here already. Don't have any bear div on it just yet, but this is kind of what we're looking for. As long as this support level here holds, right? This will be a valid idea. If this can hold here, this is a nice inverted head and shoulders, right? So you'd be looking for this range here, like 4.6 to get tested. So even from here, that's a 15% move. That's not bad. But the real move of what you're looking for, this is just a confirmation. If it came up to here, that's your confirmation of this setup. The real conclusion of this setup is two-pronged. One, it's filling this inefficiency here. What do I mean? Very similar to what we saw in Ren. I doubt people think or thought that price could come down as far as it has, from 560, it's almost halved itself down to 350, and have this inefficiency still sitting up here. What did Ren do? It fucking rallied 70% and filled it, right? So why, it's the same thing here. I've been here long enough to know these happen all the time. So you have your initial right shoulder, the reaccumulation, and the real move up, right? The markup. And that would fill right into this bearish throwback level. Now, very similar to what we're seeing in the S&P 500 right now, off the conclusion of that inverted head and shoulders we were charting last week, it's going to come back down, right? And what we're going to be looking for at that point is you're either going to get this range high flipping support, right? That would be the most bullish thing. But this could also be. So this would be your rebuy range, this entire spot right here, right? So that'd be like between 4.4 and 4.6. So like, what's that, 2.5%, 5% or something. As long as this range held, I would be pretty bullish. And then I think we would have enough momentum to take the final conclusion of this trade which is retargeting this bearish throwback level up here. Now, this is something that's already been filled. You can see that here. It just happens to be the range highs, right? Range highs, bearish throwback level, etc. So that's what you're looking for. That's a fantastic, that's amazing. That's probably what would happen. Again, the market just constantly repeats itself over and over and over and over. If it fails here, it's a pretty clear invalidation level, right? 7% downside risk for how much upside? It's a pretty good trade. Almost a 10 to 1. So yeah, even if you waited for the range, if you just wanted to play the range trade, which has a much more high probability, you know, you're still going to get 20% off that. So that's not bad at all. Yeah, I guess we can pull into some Filecoin. This has been a project. It's been 3 years in the making. Yeah, this thing launched back in 2017. This ICO raised $200 million. The advisory round was all the way down there at 75 cents. So, you know, we saw prices here spike up upwards of like $150, $200. So, pretty good return. A lot of those tokens do have a vesting schedule. So, you know, you got 6 month, 12 month, and 3 year. But right now, you know, it's faded quite hard. I think at the peak, this thing was over $300 billion, fully diluted market cap. Right now, just sitting over $100 billion, which is absolutely insane, right? Like, I get it. This is decentralized file storage. Could be a decentralized Amazon web server type thing. Huge promise. I'm not saying there's not, but is any of that live? Do we have, you know, millions of people using this? Not yet. No, we don't. So how can we justify $100 billion? Just absolutely insane. But from a trader's point of view, this has been a gift, right? The volatility on this thing is whipping around like 100, 200%. No problem yesterday on FTX. Price swings from $20 all the way up to 80. Let's see if we can actually pull up a chart there. So we've talked about DeFi perp, doesn't look great, blah, 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 blah. File perp, we'll just use the perpetuals product because the fucking volatility has just been insane on this thing. Look at that. So this is actually, you know, one of its first support levels that it could be supporting at. It's below all the major resistance levels, but let's, again, this thing, what was really interesting was it was lagging so hard. Like, a lot of orders couldn't even be placed or anything on FTX, but I think they were saying that they would credit orders if you had it in your history or something. Anyways, this thing, again, just what a fucking monster. Like, this happened within 2 hours. Keep that in mind. So it's very similar to the price action that we saw with the Uni listing, right? And as I was saying before, these, you know, sub $100 prices, you're going to get these insane price swings. Because especially initially, liquidity is going to be really thin, right? Order depth isn't going to be the greatest. So while there might be a lot of 24-hour turn, you can bet that there's a lot of fucking slippage on a lot of those market orders. Like you can just see that in these candles. But again, so this is a 5 minute. There's not a lot of price data, right? So like in these early days, using low time frame charts isn't bad because at least you're going to get a resemblance of some market structure that you can actually look at, right? If you zoom this thing out to the 4 hour or even the 8 hour, like what the fuck is this going to tell you? Like, it's tough to draw any conclusions off of that, right? But using these smaller time frames, and again, normally I'm not going to advocate for this because this is just suicide. But again, high volatility, this is what you're going to be looking for. So if you're actually, like, you know, I guess this could technically be a level as well. There's just not a lot of price history to go off of. So, you know, choose your levels wisely. You're not sure what's going to react with what because a lot of things haven't even been tested, right? So obviously, as we know, this is the key bearish throwback level right now. A break of this level to the upside, in my opinion, would signal the bulls where, you know, this thing was about to run up to range highs. So that's a huge trade. And that's why watching these markets right now, this is where you're going to make some, you know, potentially the real money. Because these trades are just so large and they're moving so quickly, right? Like, if you're in any position, as a trader, you want it to go from A to B as quick as possible. Anybody who says they don't like volatility is lying. At the end of the day, you want your targets fulfilled as fast as possible. And that's what we're going to be looking for here. You know, a sweep of these range highs up here. Again, this is just absolutely insane. At these prices, like, you should be thinking about this in terms of market cap. At $80, you're sitting at $200 billion fully diluted. So up here, you're sitting around like 150 billion. It's just absolutely insane. So what is going to be happening is all these people who purchased in the ICO, odds are, if they're going to be holding their positions, they're going to be hedging. And especially at these prices, right? This is like a 30x multiple for a lot of people. So hedging at these prices it's pretty good, especially just on the futures where you don't have to, like on perps products right now, the funding is like 0.5%. So it's negative. So it's very expensive to short. So you'd be better off using a futures product with a flat order fee versus a perpetual funding fee. If that flips, you know, that could be something. But for now, if you're scalping, take the long side using perps, because then you're going to be collecting that funding, and take the short side on the futures. Obviously, you know, you might run into some like liquidity issues, but that's why you use limit orders on this stuff. You're probably going to get your fills. Again, it's super liquid, the wicks and all that shit. So yeah, a lot of opportunity. Again, if it fails here, so this is like that first bearish throwback level around like $43. It fails here, you know, pretty confident it'll go back down. You know, this is like, you know, I'm going to say quotes with key level. It's a 5-minute chart. I don't know how much keyness is in that, but sure enough, this is going to be a level I'd be looking for. $33, right? It's proven itself multiple times. You had from 33 up to 60. 33 up to 65 again. What's going to happen here? See, this is what I think would look really good. Something like this. So if we do come down, you know, we take out these lows, they're pitiful. Take that out, boom, like that. A move like this from $33 to $50, like $48, $50, that's going to be fucking savage. Again, what's the funding rate telling you, right? This thing is heavily heavy on the sell side. So if we see break of these lows, probably gonna have some FOMO shorts into it. This could be a lot of smart money is going to be taking profit here, right? So that's gonna create a bid, right? If we get some quick liquidations, again, this is traded up 25, 50x leverage. You can get some quick liquidations, and it's very easy for this to run up really fucking fast and hard, right? You see it all the time, counter trend rallies. So yeah, keeping an eye on that. This is the key level right now. I'm going to be proactive and set an alarm. Boom, look at that, I'm prepared. That's all it takes. Thankfully, TradingView Pro, I can set as many as I want. And as you can see, okay, it failed to load. There's that many. Amazing. I want to take a quick look at XTZ here. I was a little, this is why you have to give variance to your levels. Been doing this for a long time, and it's not going to be to the cent every time, right? Even though our weekly support level was pretty spot on, pretty fucking spot on. And it's a huge level. Like, if this goes, this is, oh God, like, we'd probably be headed back down to like 125, 13. It's that big. This is the weekly level. Like, I don't know what to say. This is the bullish throwback level, right? We sprung off here and made new highs. A break of this level would be disastrous. What would we be looking for? So again, we're going to explore the disaster so we can be prepared for the disaster. It hasn't happened yet, but we're going to be prepared. So again, this entire block right here, you may as well just consider it resistance, right? It consolidated here, a little fucking bear flag, died. So it's trying to flip that. I thought this little range right here could hold this resistance. It kind of did a little bit. It broke through it, but sure enough, like, there's just so much resistance from this 2.6 to 2.2 level in general, right? So that's why I wasn't super concerned that it was, you know, flipping bowl and about to take out new highs or some bullshit like that. Cross that out. If we see weekly support fail, it's headed down here, guys. It's just a no fucking brainer, right? 1, 2, like consolidation block here. Like there's so many instant, like all right here as well. Like there's so many resistance, support. Like there's so many instances of price reacting to this level. You can't ignore it, right? I bet if you looked at the heat map for this chart, I don't know what exchanges this is paired against, but I'm sure there's a lot of resting liquidity right here at 1.25. So that's where I would want to be, attempting along. And again, I wouldn't want to be touching this. If we break this weekly support, I'd just be wanting to short bounces and wait for a sign of a clear reversal, because this is not bullish at all. So again, your only chance, something you could do here is waiting for, a retest of the weekly support. If it breaks, it's an easy invalidation. It's probably like 2% or something invalidation below the level. Oh, I used the wrong bar. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, okay, a little bit wider, 8%. So, if you're on leverage, I wouldn't take it. But that's something we're watching for. Solana, same thing. Again, all these alts are just at huge levels. This is support. It just, couldn't hold it. Broke through the range again. So this is the level I've been, using as a key metric. It's supported it a few times, flipped it to resistance. Come back down, retested this daily support. It's a big one. Very similar to XTZ, right? Resistance, support, and it sets off for all new highs. Again, same thing here, there, reaction, and you can see, and this is why I say what I don't like to see on supports when they're tested this many times. You get that first big run off it, you get that second big run off it, your third run off it. Do you notice something? Look, these runs are getting smaller, right? That resistance is coming. It's coming down. It's sloping down. So how much of a move is this one going to get, right? When you see this, it confirms it's a descending triangle, right? But it confirms that this entire consolidation here is about to come to conclusion, right? So we're about to get a very big, high volume move off of this. If it breaks down off this through this daily level, where's it going? It's going down here, right? This is the supports of supports, right? So you're going to be looking for like 1.6, 1.7, and that's a nasty drop from $2. So it doesn't look like a lot, but again, in percentage terms, that's a fucking nasty one. And I would be looking to take along at these levels, 1.7. I think a lot of people would, this would be capitulation down here on this move down. So yeah, I'd be looking for a bounce. It's 20%. So that's pretty good. If we were facing a real, for whatever reason, doomsday thing, you'd be looking for that. If this turned resistance, game over. Probably run that. So very clear setups on this shit. Again, not a level you want to be shorting right here. This is daily support. If you're bullish, you probably have resting bids all in here with the stop loss right below, probably this low right there. It's too wide for me, unless you're taking out low leverage, then it's a great trade. You'd be targeting this, retest at 2.5, $3. But the real trade that I'm waiting for, again, is this expansion trade up here. It's very low risk, right? Very low risk, because the momentum is going to be so strong in the bull's favor. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. I would love to get it. I don't know if I will. I'm still kind of bearish. But let's take a quick look at this ETH BTC chart. This is the Mac Daddy. I think this, it is the Mac Daddy. It's the number one alt in terms of market cap. So what are we going to be looking for? This is support. Don't short it. If you're bullish, you can try along. This is where you're going to want to be getting filled, right? That 0.30, 0.31 level. is where you would be wanting to risk that. Now, very similar to what we're seeing before, look at these bounces off these supports getting smaller and smaller, right? So, I guess you could, at this point, you can set an alarm just above or just below 0.34. I think if we can move above this range here, this is a 3-day chart, so, there's some depth to it. If we can move above that 0.34 level, 0.34, I think it'd be good. I think that'd be a strong signal. Bulls are back. They're in charge. Ethereum's probably sitting around, above 395 at that point. Things are looking good. Until that happens, though, this looks bearish. It's not confirmed yet, but it doesn't look great. It doesn't get me wanting to long my longs. So if we do see a breakdown, it'll probably sweep these lows right down to here at that 0.03 level. Get a little bounce back, and if we see these wicks, this little support range at 315, flip the resistance, that would be my confirmation to load the boat. I'd be expecting a retest back down to this bullish throwback level. Now, this kind of reminds me of what we saw with Bitcoin, kind of before it broke down up here, right? Very similar, isn't it? Let's take a look side by side on that, actually. Like that. Wow, isn't that fucking uncanny? Look at that. Very similar market structure. Anyways, Bitcoin did the exact same thing. Broke its range. Sure enough, supports off the bearish throwback, and it's rallied back. I'd be looking for the same thing here, and I think that would kind of line up with our risk-off window going into the election here. It's only like 3 weeks away. I would like to highlight that depending on the results of the election, it could be drawn out, right? Like the Bush election, those results were contested for what, like 3-4 weeks? So that could get drawn out. The markets hate uncertainty. You'd have a lot of volatility. It'd be very similar to what we're seeing right now with the stimulus news. Oh, $10 trillion stimulus, it's going through the next hour, it's not going through, and the markets just go fucking wild, right? Literally living off every single word that they put out there. So, yeah, a lot of uncertainty going into this. I think we're not going to have a very clear trend until we have some certainty around that. And that'll set up the next 4 years in terms of macro, policies and things. So keeping an eye out for that. I think retesting this bullish throwback level would probably be the most bullish thing. In my opinion. I know it's like an oxymoron, go down to go up, get even more bullish, but it would confirm the level, it would confirm the market structure, it would build a nice consolidation base, and it would then exit into the risk on window, late Q4 2020, early Q1, or even mid Q1 2021. I think that's going to be the window that we see things really start to trend. And I think this is going to be a really good metric to watch. And obviously, if this breaks down, what's the inverse correlation to this? Bitcoin dominance, right? If the alts take a hit and Bitcoin, holds true and steady, we're going to get that fill. This is going to move back up to the bearish throwback level, right? If everything just dives, this could easily just fucking range in here, right? So, I think that's kind of what we're looking for. And obviously this is going to dictate our perspectives on what alts can do. But I think, Atom's really another great one that we've been watching. This is really the last ditch effort right here to hold this range. It doesn't look great, I gotta say. We did have conclusion of this inverted head and shoulders. Let's quickly draw it out here, what we could see. There's no div on this either, so that's not great. But we did have this market structure here. It's kind of what we were just pointing out on dots, eh? So we did get this move up, the markup, and we were expecting the move down. I really wanted to see this level hold and then move up like that. But you could see this little former support level, it's flipped to resistance. So until I see price move back above, say like $5.95, $5 or $6, I'm not feeling confident on it. I'm not shorting it right here because again, this is still within that range here, right? If it's going to bounce, it would be within here, right? Nice volume node to confluence that up as well. But if it does break down, yeah, I do expect a retest of this support. And I think it would break. I do. We've tested it so many times. And you can see what happens when price does break this level. We already, this is a deviation down, obviously, but it's severe and it's very quick. Like I think that was 15% or something drop. I'd be expecting the exact same type of velocity on that move. Yeah, I'll take a look at SEAL here. I think there's a lot of people talking about that. Yeah, good 20% off that, right? So I'd be expecting more of the same. Retest of these levels down here. But again, if you can hold here, my trigger to get long again would be a move back over this 595 level. Yeah, let's take a look at SEAL. Is it on here, or do I have to use the other bullshit? Yeah, I do. Okay. Pull it up over here. Oh, okay, I got it open. Fantastic. Drag it over. Okay, so I know our man Crypto Messiah has been on this one. I don't know too much about it. I think there's a bigger play here than just buying and holding it. But I'll give you the rundown from the TA point of view. And it doesn't look bad. Now, this is obviously your 4-hour resistance level that needs to break, right? Oh, I can't even draw it because I don't have Pro. Womp womp. But just looking at this, you can see what needs to break here. Like this isn't a level you want to be getting long at. This is a level where if you're long, you're holding your breath, hoping for the best at the moment. So if we can get above this $1,700 level and actually closing above that, ultra bullish. I'd be excited to be in this one. In terms of like where you'd want to be buying this thing, if this thing it craps the fucking bed for whatever reason, probably down here, $700, right? It's a good throwback level. It's the fucking green dildo of dildos pushed right through there. So that's where I'd want to be wanting to buy right there, 700, 750. Yeah, YFI. Let's take a quick look. I don't think I've been watching that one. You know me, I've been bearish on it though. So I'm going to take a look at the USD chart. Let's go off of our Eastern friends. Oh yeah, wow, look at that. So we've called this one pretty well as well. That just looks absolutely fucking disgusting. Hey Jim, good to have you. Always good to see you here. Thanks for tuning in. No, there's no divs yet. But anyways, this is the key daily level we've been watching. I guess we could redraw it a little bit. There you go. This is the key daily level right now. If it breaks down, yeah, there is some significant downside risk here, right down to here. So this could be, I already have my alarm set. I would love to take this trade, right? It's a 31% move. I'm interested in that. I'm interested in a 31% high velocity downside move. The great thing that we were talking about is just because a coin is down 99 or 98% doesn't mean it can't take a trip, another 99% drop. There's still that 1% that has to be cleaned up. So that's the lesson I've learned in altcoins. And I think a lot of people are thinking similar thoughts right now. They just look at something and they're going to be saying to themselves, wow, this thing is down 70% right now. There's no way that this breaks. Let me tell you, friends, there's a way. And it's by more sellers showing up than buyers. And I don't think Andre specifically has been getting the best press in these last couple of weeks. And like it or hate it, people have a market to take out that frustration. And that's by shorting YFI. Simple as that. So I wouldn't be shorting right here, right now. This is your daily support consolidation block. I shall put it here. Support, thou shalt not short support. So here you will not be shorting. However, if it breaks, you're going to be shorting back down, or you could just be looking for those longs, 8,500. There's hardly any price history here. It's completely untested. If I had a box here, I would be saying untested support, right? I wouldn't be buying there necessarily. I'd be waiting for some price reaction on the lower time frames. But if I'm short, that's my target. I have an exit plan. I know where I want to get out. right? There's two different setups. There's the setup of you completing your short and exiting that position, and then there's the setup and due diligence you need to do for taking the long. It's just because you get out of your short doesn't mean you entered the long, right? I think that's something that people skip over, and it can lead to some knife catching that doesn't, you don't need to take that risk. I hate knife catching. Anyways, RT's been big on this one. Theta, I too have been big. He got me big on this one. Let's just say that. I was shorting this breakup here. I took profit down here. Like I want to catch this. Like this is, if you're going to be shorting any asset in the space right now, this one is just such high opportunity. Look at it. Right? Everything else, let's compare this to MTA. Like I can be bearish on this shit, but your opportunity isn't as great, right? Like I'm bearish down here at $2 when it's already moved from 10 to 2, right? Well, I've identified another market that I could be similarly bearish on from a technical point of view. Where the hell did my chart go? And it's not at the bottom, it's at the fucking top, right? So there's so much more potential downside. There's more opportunity, right? So that's what I'm looking for. This is the range support, 66 cents. If it breaks down from here, it's easy, guys. This thing's headed back down to 59 cents. And depending on, I don't know what the resting liquidity is on this, but where's the real entry on this? Like, wow, that was perfect. Look at that beautiful arrow. It's going to be down here, guys. Like this is where, if it overshoots, which it totally could. This thing has had 0 major retraces, right? If this thing overshoots, it's going down here without a fucking doubt. 52 cents. So there's so much opportunity here, guys. It's just being patient and waiting for the break of this level. Don't short it here. Wait for it. You're going to have an 8% trade here, right? It's probably going to get a price. And like, if you really want to trade, like the real God tier fucking setup, if you miss this one here, it's going to be this. It's going to bounce here. And if this right here, if this daily consolidation at 65, 66 cents, up to 67, give yourself some berth, flips to resistance, this thing is going to confirm structure. Just what we were talking about on the other stuff. So you're going to have your fucking M with your lower high. With volumes declining on this rise here. Oh my God. Like, bet more. This thing is going to run back down. 20% move, minimum. So there's so much opportunity to be had on this one. It's going to be great. I'm like really looking forward to it. Set your alarms right now. This is the daily candle. It's indecisive with some bearish tilt. Put an alarm at top of it and just wait. That's all I can say is just wait on this one. All right, let's take a quick look at some other stuff. Community requests. Hello, everybody. Brandon, Jack. Wish I had a shorting platform. I'm moving to Canada. Yeah, I guess, depending on how above board you want to say, there's options out there, but yeah, for the Americans, they're getting limited more and more by the day, it seems. I think it's going to become very difficult for Americans to access some of this stuff. However, this will give the rise of the decentralized exchanges and swaps. And want to know what's really interesting on that news that came out this morning, or I guess last night, about OKX? Guys, look at Uni. This is, again, our theme for this is a sign of maturity in the markets. Look what happened to Uni here on that news. Most markets immediately dumped. When do you think the OKX news was really? Obviously, it's retraced here, as most news-driven things do. But look at that. Look at that knee-jerk reaction. That's super interesting. 17% move off of that. People are seeing the risks of centralized exchanges, especially as we go through this regulatory crackdown, and seeing some benefits with the decentralized stuff. Imagine all the centralized exchanges got rug pulled, right? That's the risk. It's on the table. I shit you not. That is what's on the table right now. All these exchanges, no KYC, no AML, fucking weak ass checks. They're coming for them. They're fucking coming for them. And I'm speaking from experience. Like, I was there when one broker got owned. They're coming for them. I guarantee it. It's years in the making. Years in the making. Anyways, I thought that was really cool. Let's get into it then. Core, Owl, Hoo. I think TradingView added some of these products. If I type in, what is it, Uniswap? If I go to cryptocurrencies. Wish I had my producer here right now. Uni. Vibrations. That's not the highest as it can go right now. Well, I'm abandoning it. Going to Coin Pro. Or Coin Trader Pro. This is always my second go-to one. It's not traded against that, but that was something else. Okay, here we go. Is this the right one? Is this the right contract? I don't know. There can be, and that's the problem with these things. Okay, there we go. We got the right one. We got the right one! Wow, look at that. Okay, so this isn't an area you want to be shorting. This is the range lows. If you're bullish, right? Range lows aren't a bad place to be buying at. I really like that level. Why did I choose to top it off right here? Because I'm looking at what I'm doing in my head is that I'm looking where the spring of a move was, right? So I'm looking at this last swing here on this 4 hour when we went from what, 0.6 all the way up to $1. And I identify, yeah, like this is a consolidation block, but this wasn't the real start of the move. It was right here, right? With this little bullish engulfing candle. So that's why I take this top of the range, all right, for my little box there, and we moved up from here. So here we are now again. You know, you can see it, like again, look at this, just one giant fucking consolidation. But look what's happening. Look what's happening, guys. Lower high, lower high, lower high, right? It's a very clear consolidation pattern. So what do you think happens next? Well, if we're going to stay in this consolidation range for a little bit more, we're going to get a move up off of this range. And you're probably going to slide into this like 0.8 range. So if we see the price move up and hit this as resistance, right? Now we have 1 move, 2 move, 3 move off this support consolidation here at 0.6, 0.55, right? This is going to be a sign of weakness to me, not strength. Right? If we do, however, so I would be expecting, you know, maybe one more and then it would dip down. However, if we break above this throwback level and go like this, completely different story. We would then, odds are, break this, confirmation of bull market. Then we can then go target these highs, 1.1, 1.2. That's why you wait for confirmation. Because once you get that confirmation, so say it confirms bullish above this little range here at 0.8, now that's immediately given you your targets. Boom, target 1, range highs. Or sorry, range highs right here, right? Just below $1. Boom, target 2, target 3. It's that easy. Now you have your entire trade planned out for you based off this confirmation. And now this low here, this range low, becomes your invalidation point. For if the market goes up here and then dips below it, it's now, you know, confirming bearish, right? So it gives you plenty of time to enter and exit, and it tells you through the momentum if the odds are it's going to recover and go back or go back down, right? So that's why you use that stuff. Again, expecting a little bit of move up here, up to 80 cents or so. Your invalidation point obviously below the support range at, what is that, 55 cents? Yeah, about 55 cents. Again, tough for me to be macro bullish on this stuff just yet because the index products are so severely wrecked. The majors are consolidating, etc. All right, let's take a quick look then. Okay, thank you for that, Smokin'. Perfect, okay. Let's move over to any more of the other things. Uni, Kava, blocks. Okay. Are you talking about Rocket Fuel or Rocket Protocol? I don't see a ticker on that. Oh, you're just saying in general iRock. Who knows? TAU? Let's do that one. Okay. Oh, wow. Look at that. It's actually breaking to It's breaking daily lows. We did just do a seal review. Maybe I'll finish it up again if I get another request for it. Anyways, this doesn't look great. This does not look great at all. I'm sorry if you were expecting I'd be saying something different. The only bullish thing I could say is that here we are at this 3-day level. We haven't broken it yet, so not an area you want to be getting short. But if you've held this all the way down, I'm sorry. But if this level does, this is key support level here at what, 3 cents? If we're getting pretty much no price reactions off of it, it's not great at all. If it fails here, pretty confident this thing will be headed back down to like what, 2 cents, something like that. I don't know what this project does, but I do know it doesn't look great. This is a classic Eiffel Tower, pump and dump, etc. Look at the interest constantly falling. So keep an eye out on this volume. The other thing when you have low cap coins like this, what I do is that I'm using on-chain data. I'm looking at the amount of wallet holders versus the price. Are people just cashing out, selling as they're going down? Are you seeing an increase in holders as prices going down, aka accumulation? There's so many things to be watching for on that. I haven't looked at that data for this coin right now. Again, 3-day level, 3 cents key level. If that breaks, doomsday. Don't want to be shorting here. Don't know what it does. All right, moving back to the wonderful land of TradingView charts, where I actually have tools and things again. KNC, let's take a quick look. I think a lot of these DeFi charts are all going to look the same, which is not great, unfortunately. This is... okay. All right. Well, KNC's, I'm actually going to take this out to the weekly. Here we go. All right. So we got some levels here we can look at. It's not, it's very messy, but, it is respecting it. So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. This is the key level to be holding right now here on KNC. Throw in a support. I'm actually going to save this chart later on. So that's why I'm doing this stuff now. Put that there like that. I always like labeling my chart. Come back to it. Anyways, yeah, if you're bullish, this is the level you're going to be buying, I guess. I don't know. I haven't seen the bullish momentum come in yet. I haven't seen it reverse yet. I'll be headed to core right after this. I haven't seen it reverse yet. I'm still 50-50 on what's going to happen with the majors, so I'm not necessarily rushing into this stuff just yet. I'm fine. I'm more than happy to miss a 10-20% off the bottom of this stuff, because I know how hard this could run, right? If it breaks these highs, where's this going to go, right? Well, it's going to go up here, 31, 40%. Like, there's so much upside on this stuff, right? Versus the downside. So happy to wait on this stuff. If you just want to hop into these markets now, this is not a bad area to be reloading, right? The 75 cents level down to there, I like it. And if it does break low, well, it's pretty clear where your next support level is. It's 40 cents, right? So, yeah, again, watching this. The weekly candle doesn't look great. I got to say, it hasn't made new lows. It's, I'm just, I want to be bullish, but I'm just seeing bearish signals, right? Just from market structure. Like, look at this, right? Like, support becomes resistance, guys. Simple as that. So what you can do then, set an alarm. Okay, come on, TradingView. Don't let me down now. Okay, it's letting me down. But normally, set an alarm at 1.07. If it's above there, you can get bull again. You can target 1.25, right? And if it breaks that, boom, you can target 1.4. So there's plenty of trade opportunities to be had once it confirms. There's no reason to be risking fucking 18% downside in the hopes that this climbs back up for 2 to 1. Fuck off. Not interested. So yeah, that's my thoughts on KNC. Obviously, there's so much. You can go look at their on-chain volume, their DEX volume. I like the project long term. I don't like it tomorrow. Anyways, moving over to core. Oh wow, look at that. Boom, Uniswap. Okay. So this is, forming. It kind of, it's very young. But this is generally called an inside bar formation, I love inside bars. If you've ever followed my Twitter feed, I love them. Really clear, defined consolidation range. And look at that, right off the daily level. So, you know, this looks better than most charts. We'll just say that. Your invalidation point for, oh my god, this thing's headed lower, is probably like 7.6. Again, there's not a lot of price history, right? So you're just working with what you got. And in fact, like, you know, it looks good, but it's still below this. I need to see price move above, let's say, 19.5 to get excited here. What would I be targeting if we were closing above 19.5? Well, I know this is a weekly level, so you know, I'm going to be targeting $24. It's a 25% move. Nice. I'm happy with that. If it moves up above that, turns into support, yeah, I'll be targeting a little bit higher, 27. I think that's like an additional 10% or 15% or something. Yeah, there you go. Okay, 20%. So again, waiting for confirmations of these ranges to break, you're not missing a lot, right? You're still tremendous upside on these trades, guys, with significantly reduced risk, right? Like if you're just randomly FOMOing in thinking it's going to break resistance, well, unfortunately, you are now suffering some drawdown, 10, 11%. Womp, womp, womp. Oh yeah, this is against wrapped ETH, by the way. Sorry, not fucking dollars. My bad. That'd be... Anyways, so yeah, where do you want to be reloading on this? Okay, let's take a quick look. Oh, look at that touch. How cheeky is that? Super cheeky, that's what. Anyways, throwback levels, points of origin, etc. This entire move spawns from this throwback level back here at 12. If we see price holding at 12 on a retest, I'd take that. I'd be interested, right? But I'm not longing up here. I'd be waiting. I'd be interested down here or something, right? And that's the difference between good traders and bad traders. Good traders will wait and they'll trade the setup. And if they don't get it, they'll move on to the next one. Because guess what? These trade 24/7, 365. So that's what I'm looking for there. If this bullish throwback level holds cheeky, I'd be bullish, targeting 22, 26. If it fails here, range lows, targeting here, 9. Simple as that. If that fails, boom, like that or something, boom, simple. Targeting this range here. That's it. It's that easy, guys. Just a matter of having patience. Where do you short Ren? The opportunity to short Ren has passed, my friend. Quickly take a look at it again. Yeah, so the opportunity to short Ren has passed. It was, in fact, at this daily resistance level. Now you're going to be looking for new opportunities to possibly long Ren back down at support, down at 25 cents. Right? It's kind of in the middle of no trade zone. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's not on top of any major support level. It's not against any major resistance level. So, you know, don't do anything. Wait. This is a 3-day chart. Like, even more reason why not to do anything. That looks fucking atrocious. If you're already short, though, this is what you're thinking, right? Or what you should be thinking. You zoom it down. Look at this nice slope on this, right? This is what you're looking. You know, it was already pre-drawn. This support level right here. Look at that, flipping resistance. Look at that. So if you're short, what are you doing? You're setting an alarm right above that level, right there at 0.355. Yeah, Ren isn't on FTX or anything, unfortunately. It's too bad. But again, this is a long-term project that I like. Anyways, if this breaks this low right here, look at that, guys. It's just fucking unbelievable how easy this is. If it breaks below this level, expect price to be headed back to 28, 29, and ultimately retesting this support level down here. So that's what we're looking for on Ren. Moving on, we've already gone over core. If there's anything else, guys, you want to be check out, we can talk about, debate it. Happy to do any of that. Just drop it in the box. Uni. Okay, we've kind of, I think we kind of, we glazed over Uni. I didn't really give it the full treatment. And, you know, we've been, again, pretty spot on this. We were calling for 2.5, hit 2.5, calling for, you know, what was it, 3.6, 3.7. We got that too. And right now, it's bearish. Below this level is bearish. Simple as that. Bearish throwback on Uni right now. Okay. So what's interesting about this is that you can see our stoke has been rising, right? So it's just saying, you know, there's some buyers here. That's what it's telling me. There's some buyers in this range. However, what could be a really, really interesting setup? So this is, you know, it's there's not a lot of history here, but you do in fact have to call it support. Just because we've had that one price reaction off it so far, right? Scroll down chat here. Yeah, I think everybody's eager to catch the bottom on Uni, as am I. You know, the volumes on it just continue to rocket here. Let's quickly actually look at Uniswap.info. I've always thought this is pretty, you know, an underlying metric I use to determine the health. Yeah, look at it, like fucking just hovering over $3 billion liquidity. So even though trade volume is taking a hit, the platform itself is still generating a lot of revenue, right? It's two-pronged because they're collecting liquidity, LP fees, and they're also collecting volume, you know, transactional fees on volume. So, you know, this growth looks really good. I'm not, you know, this doesn't look like a dying platform to me. It's very strong. If they can roll out some, you know, more utility for their asset, for their coin, and I think they're going to be doing that soon. I know there's a proposal through right now. And you know, this was a concern early on, the cost of governance. How much does it cost to submit a proposal? How much does it cost to interact with the governance protocol? What good is decentralized governance if it costs $50 million to access? It's prohibitively restrictive, right? So there's a proposal going through to reduce that. Once we reduce that stuff, I think we'll see, you know, we could see some more participation. We'll see a lot more utility being developed, right? But until that happens, it's kind of stale, right? I think it's kind of like a wait and see, accumulate type thing. But yeah, definitely long-term bullish on this stuff, for sure. I'll quickly go back to the chart though and say, so again, bearish below 3.7. If we're flipping this back to support, we can get bullish on this, right? And these are going to be some big moves back up to like 5.7, $7. Like there's more upside. I'm looking to capture upside here versus downside at this point. Even if I do think prices could come back a little bit more, I want to buy that dip. So what I was saying is that what dip would I want to buy? Well, you know, we've been playing these technical levels for bounces and stuff. And it's been nice, right? But you want to form a long-term bag and positions in some of this stuff, right? So we know this low is right here. Untested liquidity. Anybody who is taking a long in this area, where do you think their stops are? Right here, right? Anybody who's been long on this entire run, where do you think their stops are? Right here, right? So, as a market maker, I know there's massive liquidity down here, right? So, if the majors continue to go sideways and consolidate, that gives me opportunity, right? So, I could drive this down. I could sweep these lows, right? Snap all the stop liquidity, and then I could spring it back up. So, I would be looking for something like this. If I just see like a slow fucking bleed out, that's not what I want to see. I don't want to see a slow bleed out. I don't like buying those. I hate that. I want to see a fucking catastrophic, oh my god type moment. And reclaiming these levels is going to be your confirmation. Checkbox, right? I'd want to buy that. I'd be okay buying right there, in fact, because like you just $1.50 to $1 is 50%, right? So if you're on 10x leverage, you're liquidated within 10 cents. Simple as that. So I don't want to risk catching knives. I want to buy confirmed bottoms off these types of deviations. I've seen it so many times, right? Just wait for it. That's what capitulation looks like, guys. Not this fucking shit. That's not capitulation. I'm sorry. That is not capitulation. It is the opposite. That is a slow fucking bleed out. Anyways, YFI, BRX. Okay, let's take a quick look at those. BZRX. Okay. Yeah, this is the protocol that loves testing in production. And they constantly get wrecked for it. Luckily, chain analysis is at a point where good luck committing financial crime on the blockchain for the most part. For the most part, for most people. Was it on Poloniex first? Okay, there's a lot of price history here. Oh, wow. Consolidating below that swing price. That's not great. Oh, my God. See, this literally is exactly what I was just talking about, wasn't it? This is, God damn it. This is not capitulation, guys. Remember, I was literally just describing this shit. The slow bleed outs, the impulse move up, the fucking slow bleed out, the impulse move up, and the resume the slow bleed outs. Guys, we need to see some fucking V's. That's what we need. That's capitulation. Those are what bottoms are made out of. Well, really what a bottom would look like would be something like this. And then, this flips to support. Higher lows, boom. Consolidate again, and then start to move up. That's what a bottom looks like. I don't know what the fuck this is. Not a bottom, though. So let's see what we could do. Obviously, we're going to be taking these lows. This is our little consolidation block. Right? The fact that we're like below it just is not great, not great at all. So again, there's no reason to be bullish on any of this. You can just set an alarm, just like below here or something, like 1.18, and then maybe take a look at it, and set some alarms on the downside too, because you want to be paying attention to the market, whether you're buying it or not. You want to be paying attention during the capitulation moments, right? Because you want to buy that retest, and then that's when you want to get in. So I don't really have an interest in this project, but just for the sake of it, I'll set an alarm at 9.5. Okay, maybe I won't. Anyways, I would set an alarm at 9.5. It looks bad. It looks bad. Okay, let's take a look here at the cousin of YFI. YFI. It's not original in the market. Oh my God. Okay, so this is actually a little bit better than what we were just talking about. Sharp slow bleed out, slow beat out, boom, fucking nuke that, right? And then a sharp bounce back. However, look where it failed to. It was so weak, it didn't even make the bearish throwback level. A sign of the times, but also an opportunity. Bearish throwback. Right? It's an opportunity because we know this is now a price inefficiency that at some point needs to be filled. So if I'm bull, and if I think I'm looking for this, inefficiency trade, I'm going to be looking for this. Oh my God, look at that fucking bear div on all this. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's hidden bear on the momentum, by the way, right? You got rising momentum here, and take these two points and low. So again, like this could rise all the way, and this would be the perfect bear setup. This could rise all the way. So imagine like price dips back down, hits that level. So this is actually where I'd be interested in trying to buy. It would be like right here, like around 1200 or something, right? This little block here. So this, again, your first low, and then your second. We were literally just talking about this. This would be your second low, confirm high, and then now you're in validation at this low. If you want to take a tight invalidation, it would be off this low, right? So that's how I would trade that. I would be looking to ride this all the way back up to like 2800, 2600, right? At this bearish throwback level. What do you think would happen to the momentum at that point? Your stoke is going to be fucking topped out, and you're still going to have this anchor point, right, for here.
You're still going to have bearish momentum from this point to this point, right? You're going to have slope, and boom, it'll be a slope, no matter which way you draw it from, right? Hidden bear. And if I see declining volume coming into this as well, say like volume, those are my shitty volume bars. If I see declining volume, I will short this fucking heavy short right here, this level right there. My invalidation point would be like, moving above this level here or something, like through 3,200. And I'd be targeting new lows. So fantastic setups to be had there. A lot of opportunity on both sides, right? So again, let's take a quick look at percentages. This could easily come down 20% is what I'd be looking for a retrace on before I thought about even trying to take this long, right? And this long setup, what's that going to look like? Well, I want to get long there, and I'm targeting here. Look at that! What a fucking trade. And my invalidation point is tight, super tight. It'd be like right below, 4% even, if I'm playing it. Or you could be a conservative 20. It's not as great. It's still 4-1. It's still a fantastic trade. But if I play a little bit tighter on this, and it's even sexier. So yeah, I'd be interested in that. I'm looking for that. Right now, I'm not. It looks bearish. Look at that. 4 consecutive days of lower highs, right? Bears are clearly in charge of the volume, even the buy volume there. It's pitiful. You got decreasing volume in this entire bottom range that people are maybe saying. So I'm not convinced. That's what I'm looking for. All right. Any other charts that anybody needs some insights on? Cell, C-E-L. Okay, I guess we can take a look at that one. Let's do it. I don't know if it's on here, though. Oh, okay, so it is. What do you know? There, hit BTC. Does anybody really want to chart hit? Oh my god. So yes. Wow. What a chart. And I do not want to be getting long off those candles. Oh my god. Okay. So obviously, as improbable as it may seem, there's no way price can refill that, fucking Nick. There's no way. I think we've shown that there's always a way. What's interesting though is that there's not even any bear div high time frame on the weekly or anything. But yeah, I wouldn't want to be taking a long here. 62% retrace. It sounds brutal, and it is, but it could happen. Look at that. It could totally happen. And this price action is kind of, it's confirmed the level already. So I know that much. It's kind of, there's almost bull div. It's unconfirmed bull div on this right now, right? At the same time. So yeah, I wouldn't want to be shorting this one just yet. Kind of reminds me of Theta in that sense, eh? You're waiting for that range. Exactly. And those are the projects you want to buy. Good projects that are correcting. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on it. Again, I don't want to be shorting this thing. I don't know what it does, but this is what a fucking runner. If it breaks, set some alarms here at 118 or something. If it breaks that, yeah, I'd probably be expecting quickly some daily levels here at the very least. You could be looking for a retrace back down here, I think. Would look pretty good. So something like this. So if it did break range, and again, it hasn't broken range, guys. Please do not short right here. If it did break range, I'd be looking for something like that. Right, and then if it came back up, oh, that level flips bearish, and then I'd be expecting, a drive back down to these levels. Oh wow, what a support. Oh wow, it flipped bearish again. Oh. And then something like that, right? So yeah, those are my thoughts there. But again, if it sweeps these, if it breaks out above these highs, it'll have another fucking momentous rally. And some of the best traders I know, even if price is up the way it is, they're buying into momentum, right? And that's what you want. So it's just a matter of waiting. At that point, you'd be looking for exhaustion of the momentum. You're just waiting for signals in the momentum to dictate when you're going to be selling, when you want to be buying, right? So yeah, I think if especially if we saw this daily stoke come down here and like retrace and it held this level, holy fuck, this next move could be a measure. It could be just as measured, right? So I'll say from here to here. Well, okay, maybe it's a little ridiculous, but yeah, I'd be looking for at least half of that. 220, something crazy like that. Zcash, yeah, let's take a look at it. This is going to, I know the halvening is coming up for Zcash. So, oh wow, nice really clean chart action here. This looks really good. Clear all this shit. I'm going to take this one out to the weekly, just because there's so much price history. But I might use some daily levels. Yeah. Okay. I don't like this wick. Fuck that wick. So this is my key weekly support level that I would be looking for, right? So it's pretty fucking messy. It's pretty fucking messy. So we can use. So I like to see where it made it to. Yeah. So we'll just call this little deviation. I don't really care about that. So this is my weekly range then, right? So I built my range. I know what I'm looking for. If Zcash is over this weekly level, I'm going to be looking for some big fucking moves, right? So I've identified that. Now at this point, when I'm looking at the chart, I want to identify some intraday levels, right? Because there's not a lot I can do from that weekly chart, right? If I'm just like trying to scalp trade or something. But what I can do then is that I lower the time frame. Remember, I start big and make my way down. So I only went down to the daily here, guys. And look at that. The fucking bearish throwback getting respected. Look at the confluence of that level. Like, you can pull this back further. I wish I could just point my finger. But look at that, right? Like, this thing probably goes back, okay, a ways. It goes back a ways. There's a lot of price history here. So it's very clear. This is very easy trading. If price is fuck off. If price moves now, right, above this $76, where do you think this thing is headed? Back up to range highs, right? So I would have confirmation now of a higher. That's what I want. I want confirmation. Boom. This is no longer valid. I'm happy to take a long trade, 33%, 10x leverage. Fuck yeah, let's go, right? So that's what I'd be looking for there. However, it's hit the resistance. It's confirmed resistance. The market structure. I'm going to be looking now for a retest back to these daily levels. This is the key daily level to be holding. So you can see now, right? We have one giant range, right? This giant area here, one big range, and now we've entered a new range. It's consolidating. Right? So the big move, it hasn't started just yet, guys. So you have not missed out despite this terrific volatility. So let's name this support. And if you guys have any last minute chart requests, I'll take them and then probably finish up here. It's been a good stream so far. I like going over this stuff with you guys. Anyways, I'd be expecting a retest back down to that support level, even right here. So this is your first one, 7%. That's still not bad. Like this, it's very wide, and inevitably, 15%. So you can see this range is contracting quite a bit. It's probably about a 30% range right here, right? If we move below this support level right now, what is that? 50 cents, let's say. I'd be pretty confident that we were at the very least going to go back down here and tag 37 bucks. Was there any price inefficiencies or anything? Not really, but you can see that $37 level pretty clear there, right? You guys can see that there, right? Created that. So yeah, I'd be pretty confident price would head down there. Again, I know the halvening is coming up, so I'm actually interested in starting to look at longs on Zcash. I've been a Zcash bear for years because of the inflation. And their privacy wasn't by default either, which was lol. Anyways, if we do come to support and that we see a failure like that, the failure is off this flipping resistance, right? But this is a daily chart, guys, so there's actually some weighting on these levels. I'd be expecting a retest back down to, what is that, $38, and you got a volume profile to support you up there as well. If you pull this over, this level is confluent to that as well. It comes off this entire range here. So yeah, there's a lot of confluence at this level. I really like it. $38, $39. I'd take a long up there. I would. Whether it be for just the bounce back up to here, I'd reassess at that point. But 33 back to 50, I'll take that. That's a great trade. And if it did confirm back up, well, there you go, right? And if it confirms back down, whatever. I'm fine with it. Your validation would be below here, and you'd be expecting like a retrace down to there or something. Either way, I'm not a bull right here, right? Either you're waiting to either buy a retest of this support, right? Or you're waiting for the confirmation of the break of the resistance here at $76 with your trade conclusion of that move up to $100. So it looks good. There's a lot of opportunity there on both sides. And that's, as a trader, is what you should be identifying. Both sides, not just one. So you can check that bias at the door. I did go over comp a little bit earlier. I'll quickly look over it for you again here. It's a very, very simple chart. It's already made new all-time lows today. So it's bearish below the bearish throwback level here at 123, 120-ish. Anything below that, it doesn't look great. No reason to be catching this just yet. Anybody who was buying these longs, they've been stopped out. So that's the only interesting thing here now. If we were to retrace back to 101 and that flips support, that would confirm to me that this swing low here was valid, and I'd probably take a long with the invalidation below that swing low at $99. Until then, just wait and see. The stuff doesn't look great. All right, Kava. Final chart of the day, Kava. Then we'll do final thoughts and sign off until Monday. This is another chart that just doesn't look great. It doesn't. I hope you weren't expecting me to say anything other than that. But what would I be looking for? Probably retrace back down to these levels. And it's almost right there, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of these things are getting close. They're getting fucking close to some really interesting levels. Even right here, like, again, you don't want to short here. Don't do it. But yeah, like, you're going to be looking, could see a 38 to 40% drop from here, and it's still bullish from a market structure point of view, right? So, this is starting to, it's very close to fucking rolling over again as well. This is the 3-day chart. Quickly go down. Like, you can see it, just these lower highs, right? There's no reason to be bullish. There's nothing in the candles saying this is bullish right now. In fact, there's bear div on the fucking stoke. Like, oh, God. Look at this. And, like, this is bad. Like, when you see these type of divergences at the bottoms of support levels, like, fuck sakes. So, like, this entire range, right? Just one giant fucking bear div. It needs to work itself out. So I'm confident, unless we break these highs here, I wouldn't touch this thing. So, I'll set an alarm above like 2.7, 2.8 or something, $3. Like, it hasn't even, like, this is the interesting thing, I guess, is that this level here hasn't been refilled and tested. So I guess one bullish thing that could happen would be something like this. Say it holds here, or we do get a sweep of this low. Remember what I was saying before? A sweep and a sharp buyback? That's nice. And, we could really just fuck everybody and rally back up. This is what happened in Ren, right? This is exactly what happened with Ren. It sweeps the fucking daily lows. Everybody gets ultra bearish and just fucking rallies to fill this inefficiency. So, right off there as well. So I could see it. If I saw this thing, sweep though and get sharply bought back up above this level here, I would buy it. And I'd be anticipating a fuck you move up to like 3.5 around there. And then obviously, new lows. Something like that. But in reality, it'd probably be support off there or something, right? But yeah, bearish throwback level right here, 3.5. That's what I'd be watching for. In the meantime, that's what it looks like. Exactly. Slingshots. Pow! And that basically wraps everything up, guys. Again, with the majors, we're sitting here at key support levels, 360. No reason to get short down here right now. Again, we're just consolidating right now below here. If we break support, expect the retest back down to 348, 350. Same thing with Bitcoin. I don't think I actually even have a Bitcoin chart open because I haven't been trading it because there's nothing there. Anyways, same thing with Bitcoin. As long as you're above 11.1, 10.8, it's all right. Below that, probably looking at 10.2, 10.4. And that brings us to a close, guys. If you like the analysis or content, please like, subscribe, share with those friends. We will be back Mondays, regular time, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, always, as RT says, play from a position of strength, never FOMO, and